The bid-ask spread. Why do I call it the button of lies? The button of deception and duplicity. Look at it, the buy button. It's beautiful, isn't it, when you look at it, really? It's the most expensive dopamine dispenser in history. Serotonin's there, dopamine's there, oxytocin's there. It's all there in one conflagration designed to make you buy. It's green, it's shiny, and it promises you a future where you own a yacht. Would you own a yacht named, I don't know, Liquid Assets on the Sea, something like that, right? Today, we are going to talk about the milliseconds between you when you press your button and when you actually own that stock, that share, that crypto, that FX pair. Because in that tiny slice of time, a very specific, very boring to some, and very wealthy group of people takes a little bite out of your cash sandwich. You ever noticed how the second, the millisecond, the picosecond you enter a trade, you are immediately in the red? You haven't even had the time to be wrong yet, right? The market hasn't moved, but you're down 1%. Hey, why? Why? Because, my friends and my fellow traders, my fellow stop-loss extravaganza, I don't know, experts. Why are you immediately down? Because you have just paid the toll tax. You have crossed that bridge. You have met the spread, the elusive spread, the majestic spread, the inscrutable spread, right? Today, we're going to dissect the bid, we're going to operate on the ask, and we're going to talk about the dark art of market making. We're going to find out why the price you see on that screen when you hit that buy or that sell button is actually a big, mendacious fib, a lie. Machinations behind the screen that don't really exist. So let's use an analogy. Let's use everyone that we love, someone that we all love. The used car dealership man, right? He's the car dealership man of doom. To understand the stock market in this elucidated world, you have to stop thinking of it as a market. A market implies some kind of transparency and fairness, right? A market implies that grandma buying apples, is not going to get absolutely rinsed and absolutely taken by a charlatan on the street. The stock market is actually a global, digitally used car dealership run by algorithms that don't care about you. On steroids. Let me introduce you to the concept of liquidity. Let's say you want to sell your beautiful 2015 Honda Civic. You look online and you see people listing similar cars for £10,000. That's what we call the ask. That is the price sellers want. So you drive to the dealership, you walk in with your chest puffed out, happy with the memories of your Honda Civic, and you say, I have a Honda Civic and I want £10,000 for it. Does the dealer give you 10 grand? Of course not. No. The dealer looks at your car, he kicks the tire, and he says, I'll give you 8. with disdain on his face. That's what we call the bid, not his disdain, the 8K, right? That is the price buyers are willing to pay for it. That's the bid, that's the ask. Okay, let's move on. The dealer is the market maker. He buys at the bid of 8K, he puts it on the lot and he sells it at the ask for 10K. He makes 2K without even driving the car, without fixing the car, without loving the car. He gets paid 2K just for standing in the middle. That 2K difference, what is it? That is what we call the spread. Now, let's take it back to the stock market. The stock market. The dealer isn't a guy named Slick Rick in a polyester suit, right? It's the Citadel server farm in New Jersey, cooling itself with liquid nitrogen, paid for by yours truly, right? When you look at your trading app and you see Apple at 150, that is a lie. That is usually the last price. It's a history lesson, right? The real price is 2 numbers. It's the bid of 149.95 and the ask of 150.05. If you hit buy with a market order, you are agreeing to pay the ask of 150.05. But if you hit that sell button immediately after, you're agreeing to hit the bid at 149.50. Are you with me so far? Okay, well, what just actually happened to you? Well, in that short amount of time, what actually happened? You just lost. We just lost. How much did we lose? We just lost 10 cents per share, right? You did nothing wrong. The stock did nothing, but you paid the dealer his cut for no reason, right? And you might say, who cares? Who cares, Justin? Why did you care? Okay, it's 10 cents. I find 10 cents on the floor. I don't even pick it up anymore. I can't buy me anything. Oh, my innocent child. Let me tell you the story of market order Mike. We're going to use market order Mike to tell you why that 10 cents matters. So let's talk about the tragedy of the market order, who is Mike. I don't know why I chose the name Mike, but Mike seems like a nice guy. I don't know. He seems like a trusting guy. Meet Mike. Mike discovers a penny stock. Let's call it Biotech Scam Corporation, right? And the ticker is SCAM, scam. But Mike doesn't see it as a scam. Mike sees scam is trading at $1 and he gets excited. He thinks scam is going to the moon because he read some post on Reddit by a user called YOLO, put it all on red. I don't know, right? Something like that. And he said, this is the future. They're developing drugs that are going to cure me of, I don't know, believability, gullibility. Mike has 10K. He saved that up a lot of money. He wants 10K worth of shares. He makes the classic rookie mistake. He chooses to use a market order. So what is a market order? Well, a market order is the financial equivalent of walking into a negotiation, dropping your pants and saying, listen, just take whatever you want. Just give me the goods. Give me any price, I'll take it. I don't care. I'm desperate. I'm a distressed buyer. I'll take it, whatever. That's the equivalent of it. Mike hits buy. Give his pants up. But here's the problem. Scam is an illiquid stock, right? There is no slick Rick in a polyester suit dealer with 10,000 cars on the lot. This is what we call the order book. This is the plumbing behind when you hit the button. On the R side, which are the sellers, we have a guy, number one, we call him, selling 100 shares at $1. Guy B is selling 500 shares at $1.05. And then poof, nobody, the desert. Until we find Guy C, a shark, selling 9,000 shares at $1.50. So when Mike hits that market buy innocently for 10,000 shares, the computer becomes the equivalent of like digital, well, it is already, the digital money-making Pac-Man. It eats the 100 shares at $1, right? It eats the 500 shares at $1.05, but Mike still needs 9,400 shares. So the computer reaches up and grabs Guy C's shares at $1.50. Mike thought he was buying at $1. His average fill price ends up being at like $1.45. So he's instantly down. Like, what's that? Like 20, 30%, right? On the position. The stock price shoots up to $1.50. And everyone in the chat is screaming, YOLO, moon, I was right. But what about Mike? What about the tragedy of Mike? Mike is the reason it went to the moon in the first place. He was the rocket fuel. He was the catalyst. No, he was the exit liquidity. This is what we call slippage. And it is a mother... It's terrible, right? It's the sound of your money flushing down the tube because you didn't check the plumbing was working initially. So who actually does that to Mike? Well, let's meet the house, the casino, the market maker. Who is on the other side? Who is taking your money, your hard-earned money? Your pesos, your pesetas, your pounds, your guilders. I don't know why I'm going into 18th century currency, but I am. Enter the market maker. In the old days, I'm not going to say the good old days, the market makers have always been absolute reprobates. The market makers were on the guys on the side of the NYC, like throwing up symbols that vaguely look like gang signs or something like that, right? Trying to get together market orders, market buyers, market sellers. But here's the truth. And it might hurt your feelings. Those market makers, they don't care about you. And they don't care if Apple goes up or down. They don't care about the fundamentals or the technicals. They don't care about how much chart work you've done. They don't care. They have to be something called delta neutral. Their goal is to, at the end of the day, having bought up exactly as much as they sold, capturing the spread on every single transaction, they're trying to be neutral. They don't care what you've done. They are the house. When you buy, they sell to you. And when you sell, they buy for you. They provide you a service. And without them, quite honestly, quite frankly, you'd have to find some dude called, I don't know, Steven in Pennsylvania who happens to want to buy your 17 little shares of something at the same second you want to sell them. And that will take forever. It's not feasible, right? The market maker steps in and they say, I'll take it. But here is where it gets spicy. They are much faster than you. they're smarter than you, they're well resourced, and I don't mean like they're a little bit faster. I mean they have microwave towers built in a straight line from Chicago to New Jersey or from Birmingham to London, wherever, that shaves off like 1 millisecond of the transaction time. So they see the order coming in before the orders arrive. Imagine like you're in a line to buy a concert ticket. You're at the back of the line, but the high frequency trader is the Flash, the Superman, the superhero. He runs to the front, buys the ticket for $100, and then comes back and sells it to you and says, "Hey, Mike, here it is for 101 cent," right? He did it so fast that you didn't even see him move, but he made a penny. Now multiply that penny by 5 billion transactions a day, and you see how it adds up. And this is why day trading is actually so hard. You aren't playing against people in their basements. You are playing against a physics engine designed to literally suck cents and pennies and pounds from your pocket. So let's talk about this spread a little bit more, right? If you're not already sick of it. I'm not talking about Nutella. I'm not talking about peanut butter. How do you avoid getting eaten by the spread? You have to look at what we call the spread width. If you're trading SPY, which is a S&P contract ETF, the liquidity is an absolute behemoth of an ocean. The spread is 1 cent. The bid might be 400, the ask might be 401 cent. You can jump in and out like a dolphin, right? Majestically. But if you're trading an obscure crypto coin or a penny stock or a 0 DTE option on a Tuesday, you are in a veritable desert of liquidity. Imagine an option contract. The bid is $2, the ask is $2.50. The spread is 50 cents. That is 25% of the face value. If you buy this at the ask of $2.50, the price to move has to move up 25% before you even break even. It's like starting a race with a 50-pound weight tied to your ankles. And guess who loves selling you that option? The market maker. He's not your friend. He loves it. He doesn't love you. He's throwing a party. He's popping champagne. He's got an embedded profit before the trade even goes up or down. Never, ever trade wide spreads. It's a mathematical impossibility to win in the long term. You are fighting the math, and the math has hands and a weapon, right? So, all in all, what does that mean? What have we learned today? Well, hopefully we've learned not to be Mike, right? We've also learned that the price is an absolute myth. Fable. There is only what people pay, which is the bid, and what people sell it at, which is the ask. The spread is the cost of just doing business, baby. It's the big, it's the tax, it's the interest rate, it's the cost of business, basically. Market orders are for suckers. No offense. If you take one thing away from this order, it's this video. Let it be this. Use limit orders. A limit orders is you standing your ground against market makers. It's walking into that car dealership and saying, "No, I will pay $8,500 for that Honda Civic and not a penny more." Maybe you get filled, maybe you don't get filled. But if you do, you get the price that you wanted, right? Not the price that the machine or the system or the man wanted to give you. Don't be market order Mike. Don't be the liquidity. Don't be the exit liquidity. Be the sniper. Sit on the bid. Caress the bid. Wait on the bid. Languish on the bid. Loiter around the bid, right? Because I'll tell you something. The plumbing is dirty. The game is actually rigged. People say that, but it's true. How many scandals have there been where we've seen like market makers actually fixing price, right? You know how the pipes work. So you ought to know how not to get flushed, right? Easier said than done. But one thing to take away, don't be Mike. Be less like Mike, right? Look at the market. Don't trade on wide spreads. That is kryptonite to a trader. Wide spreads, never. So hopefully you can take away from this how bid-ask spreads actually work, right? And if you've learned something from this video, I humbly ask that you make my market, make my day, and you hit the like button, maybe the bid-ask spread, and you say share and subscribe. Imagine it is that shiny green buy or sell button that you're hitting to help me out. The House of Trade, Justin Button. Ciao for now. Hope you learned something. See you next time.